broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
All right, welcome to another episode of Dancing with the Stars here on AFTERBUZZ TV. I'm Kristyn Burtt. The studio is packed. Yes. All right, yes, we've got a ton of things going on. All right, you guys. Right next to me is Trebunskaya.
Hi, everybody.
Look at that hair. That hair.
I know, her Heidi hair. I love it. It looks really pretty.
Thank you.
She's back. She is back, and you're feeling better, I hope?
A little better. I still sound a little raspy.
Yeah, you and I. So
I like a raspy voice.
This is the germy
here we
side.
go. This is, wash your hands and don't make out with us.
Okay, well, also not healthy. You injured your foot, Suri Serano.
I did, but I'm healthy. I feel great, and I'm so excited to be here.
Glad to hear that. Jake Dupree.
Hi, I'm Jake Dupree, and I do not have anything wrong with me, so there's that.
He's perfect.
How about that?
All right, you guys, and of course, I think this took 3 seasons where we could finally coordinate our schedules, and I'm so excited he's here. Corky Ballas.
Yay!
Yay!
You don't know how excited not only we are, but also the fans. So
thank you. Thank you for having me.
We're thrilled to have you here.
It's like a mini Mark. It's like the Mark is in studio. It's
Mark
crazy.
is mini Corky, actually. That's
There
how
you
it
go.
is
Yes.
Yeah.
in our world.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
She's like, I got it.
I gotcha.
Well, let's talk about, we have a ton of dances to talk about this week. You were in studio last night.
I was.
Yeah, so you got all the inside scoop for us. Most memorable year. I think one of my favorite episodes that they do, themes that they do each and every year. And we kicked it off with the opening number that Suri Burtt choreographed.
It was super nice. I like that it was short and concise, and everyone looked so good during it. So I love when she choreographs anything.
Yeah, she's killer when it comes to choreography. You were talking a little bit about Suri, what a firecracker she is.
She's beautiful. I thought the number was really edgy and, like you said, quick, short, to the point, and hot. H-O-T-T.
Yeah, don't you like it when it just like they start the show just really big and high energy? Because I felt like last week it was a little bit lower energy, maybe.
Yeah, it was strange. Last week was not the best.
Yeah, I just like a big opening number, and I think we definitely had that. Did you like it, Anna?
I liked it. I mean, I liked how they used. I'm sure all the pros with the celebrities enjoyed the fact that they didn't use them, but they used all the other wonderful dancers that are either troupe or got eliminated unfortunately too early, but they were really had a moment to shine. I think that was great.
It was fun. Yeah. All right. One brief thing I sort of want to touch base on, because this was a little bit of a different night. You know, Len wasn't in studio, and America got to vote.
Yeah.
You were happy Len was not there?
Kind of.
Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't miss him, to be honest. I like him, but I didn't miss him.
You know what else? And they gave the judges more time to talk. When there's 4 judges, it's kind of rushed. So
It has been. They've been running out a lot of time.
They often don't get to talk to all 4 of them. So.
they've skipped Bruno many times, and I'm like, yay.
And Bruno's like trying to tell us how you really feel about Carrie Ann.
Oh, what?
What do you think about Carrie Ann?
She says some stupid things too. I mean, they all do.
They all do, yeah. Let's be honest.
I mean, like, even last night, I don't remember who it was about, but it was about Betsy. You did perfectly. You didn't miss one step. Well, she missed 8 counts.
Yeah.
And she watched Tony do 5 flicks, and then she went, oh, yeah, flick. And then Bruno picks it out and says, but you messed up at the end. So, I mean,
which she
are
did.
You guys watching the same thing?
Yeah,
or what?
what's going on here? So America voted, but not us on the West Coast, because we're not part of America.
We're not
really.
cool.
Never apart.
We live in the past.
Olympics, we don't get to watch Olympics at the same time. Nothing.
It's a mess. It's a mess, America. But a lot of people had trouble. I know a lot of you. I mean, my feed was a mess of people just saying, I can't vote. It's not working. The app's not working. And someone made a great point on my Twitter feed. If you are taking the average of what everyone's voting, like not everyone voted 10. So how did Alfonso get a 10 from America?
Oh.
Correct?
That's interesting.
So, I mean, if they rounded it
Conspiracy.
up. What is the conspiracy? Remember,
Or maybe there's a point threshold that if it hits that threshold,
9.5, and you round up to 10 because we're not
Yeah.
doing half. So.
that's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Good-
definitely
good
one of those
point.
to think about.
That.
Yes, so that's definitely one thing to think about. And just remember, the show is highly produced, as we like to say.
You know what I also think is unfair about America voting? You get these rabid fans, and if they don't want someone to get a high score, they'll all vote a 1, or just to bring the average down. So that is, I don't think that that's.
Well, I don't think that happened yesterday. I mean, that could happen. I agree.
I saw a 1 vote. Someone took a picture of it and put it out on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Michael
saying.
Waltrip.
You know, and some of these fans are crazy.
Agreed.
They
I
are
know that.
over the top.
That's a good
yes.
word. Passionate
Passionate.
fans.
They are passionate.
Yes.
But it's kind of fun because you
Yes.
feel like you're part of the show. So that's the other cool thing.
I think
about
that's
it.
cool.
It's a cool element, I think.
That's exactly what
Yeah.
it is. I thought it was a cool element. I wish there was a way for all of us to vote. I mean, do the show live on the East Coast, on the West Coast for us too.
I know. And they can stay up late and watch it.
I could see her face. Is like, what are you trying to say here?
I'm not. I'm listening to you guys. I don't know. The fan thing, we never know. We don't know.
We don't
So
know.
it's
That's
like
the
we can
bottom
talk
line. We
about it
never
for
know.
hours.
Well, question mark. So we don't know, do we?
don't.
Yeah.
Was it a 10 question mark? I mean, I thought it was a 10. But the one we're talking about was definitely a 10 performance.
did.
But
I thought so, too.
But it's definitely one of those things that, some of the scores you're like, okay, whatever, America.
Well, after the show, it's an AFTERBUZZ, right?
That's right. And we can
Yes.
speculate all we want.
Yeah.
We may never have the answer, but we'll throw out some rumors. Okay, let's get to some of the dances for the night. Janelle and Val, she was talking about 2002, her move from Hawaii to Los Angeles, and her vocal coach, BJ, who died of breast cancer, and they did a rumba around this. We're kind of reaching in for some of these, but what did you guys think? I'll start with you, Jake. What do you think of her rumba?
I really enjoyed it overall. I think that she is an excellent mover, and I like what she's doing. I think that at times she, again, like Julianne said, she doesn't place her feet into the floor. And I think Carrie Ann, too, said that as she was coming up from the split, she wasn't pressing down. I was like, that's the one time you notice that she wasn't using the floor. Get over it. But I do think that she has a lot of potential, and I think I want to see her grow. And I want them to really focus on not being as thrashy, because there's points where she kind of loses some of her effect with being, like, swung around a lot. So I don't know.
What'd you see, Corey? Corky. Why did I call you Corey? Corky in the
answered
studio.
Corey. That's
I know,
good.
but it's not your name. I know your name.
I kind of thought that that the leg action for rumba, that's a very classical dance, and from a technical perspective, it was lame. So I was not very impressed with the rumba. I thought that there was no rumba content, not enough for my taste, and I thought it was too much smoke and mirrors. So not too impressed. I thought it was way overscored. I would have given her a 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love him.
Yeah.
I love him. I love the honesty. Yes.
No, I'm just telling you the facts about
Yes.
dancing. That's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
it's a
From
dancing
the
fact.
technical aspect.
And I don't care if it's Derek or Mark. I don't care who it is. I'll tell you exactly how I would.
Right.
Yeah, Julianne called out her brother last night, so it's no different. So
We'll get to that part too.
yeah.
I enjoyed it overall as a performance. I don't have a lot to add, really.
Yeah. It was pretty. I mean, it was pretty.
It was.
She looked really pretty.
She did look
She
really
did.
pretty.
You know
that
what? Talking about the way she looked, couple of the I was like, who she reminds me of? Couple of the angles. She reminds me of Cheryl.
Oh,
I think so,
She
too.
could be Cheryl's sister.
Yeah.
I could see that.
And there are a
Those-
couple like the bones and the lips and the nose. I'm like, and then yesterday in the outfit and the way they did her hair was like really much like Cheryl. On the dancing note, though, I agree with Corky. I feel it was a lot of effects, and not enough actual technique. And she was a little bit unsure in her feet. She was running around doing little extra itty bitty steps, and that's probably because she's so petite, and Val is quite a how would I say, a powerful dancer. So she was probably feeling like she's been thrown around a little bit. The only way to not feel thrown around is to know what you're doing and stay on your feet and move your own tushy. So for the next week, hopefully, maybe, I hope they have a ballroom dance where she actually is going to have to learn how to move herself.
Well, next week she'll have a different teacher.
Different
so-
partner.
Exactly.
right.
maybe, you know,
So that's going to be
interesting
that'll be
too.
interesting.
I thought last season that switch up element really helped some of the celebrities
so,
really
too.
step up, and then we saw who did not step up. So I think
Yeah.
that it'll be great for this next
I
week.
actually enjoyed that. I didn't think
did
I was going to
too.
like that, and I actually loved it.
I loved it too.
I loved it. I liked
was
it that
fun.
Nene got to dance with Derek. So
Great.
that's my girl.
That was
That's
fun.
my
Nene?
That's my girl.
Nene Leakes. I just want to ask one thing. I noticed she has a lot of breaking at her wrists. Did you guys see that?
Limp wrist, like yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was something that it was a lot of
Nice
like
sound
slinging,
effects.
and it was driving me nuts.
Well, it's like there are a couple of. It just looked to me unfinished. Like the product was there, but it just didn't have those finishing touches that I think on her level. And everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, it's so great!" They probably all like criticizing and tweeting and stuff. But on her level, she's totally capable of it.
Yeah,
and
completely.
the girl has the background of dancing, so why not give a complete finished product?
And
That's very well said. It's kind of It's disappointing for her
Right.
level. She should be at a higher level.
yeah,
Yeah.
I did like seeing a softer side of her. I will say that. I
Yeah.
thought that was
Yeah,
really nice.
It's good to see her cry.
It was. I mean, but she's a strong girl, and I think like seeing an emotional side to her. Stop it. All nines, 36 was the score. All right, I think we're gonna have a lot to talk about on this one. Jonathan and Allison doing the samba.
Oh, where do I begin? Or maybe we should let Corky talk about it.
Hold on.
my
Do I have
gosh.
to?
Let me just get
Do
the
I
intro.
have to?
You guys hold up. We're all talking over each other.
Okay.
Just 2004, she lost both of her parents. This was dedicated to her dad. I want to make sure we get all the information out for the podcast
Yeah.
people. All right, go ahead. You start with Jonathan and Allison.
Corky.
Well, that young boy's story, losing the parents, that was gut wrenching. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to get off my soap opera, but I just lost my parents within the last year or so, and that is devastating. And I mean, this boy, that did break my heart. I will say that was. I'm stuttering thinking about it. But back to the dancing now.
Let's go to the dancing.
So I just don't think that the instructor is doing it right. I don't think what she does translates well into our technical world of ballroom dance. Now, I do think ballroom dancers, we translate pretty good into other forms of dance. I really believe that we do. That's just the facts. We can do their stuff way better than they can do our stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that is a problem. I don't think she's teaching that young man how to dance. It'll be interesting to see who he gets this week and how much better he dances. So that's going to be... She's in hot water, in my opinion, this upcoming week with a different pro.
Interesting.
If he gets like any of those other girls, he's going to look better. I can promise you that.
God, sorry.
And they were way overscored. 5 for me. That was a 5.
Okay, yeah, they got 6s across the board.
Okay, so I love Allison. Everybody, that's not a surprise to anybody. But I do agree with Corky. I did think to myself, wow, with the switch up, we're gonna see something else from him than she's able to give. Now, I'm not taking anything away from her. I think she's unbelievable. But I agree with Corky on that part. I was watching half the dance and I was like, I don't have your expertise nor his when it comes to a technical ballroom dancer, but as just from a performance standpoint, I was like, what's happening? Something's not right. Like, there was just some things I was like, wait a second. Oh,
You hear it in the judges' comments, too.
Yes.
They feel very conflicted over
They seem
this couple.
confused of what to say. I don't think they want to be too rough on her.
Yeah.
But I'd rather be rough on her so she can try to fix it while
Look
she
what
laughs.
she did last week. I thought that she really came back from their critique and put out something that
The
was
tango?
a little bit,
Yeah, the
a little
tango
bit
was
more
better.
technical than
It was
what she's
better.
producing.
It was a little better.
It was better for two.
That was the best dance.
Yeah.
Yes, it was better for 4 counts of 8 of actual tango that would be considered international style of ballroom tango, and then the rest was very Argentine inspired, which is very show, which is very cabaret style, and that worked for them. Coming back to this dance, I had to watch this routine twice, and I don't usually ever do that. And first I watched her, and I was like, oh. And then I watched him, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
That was it. That's it. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
That pretty
Corky
much
summed it up, and I just.
Here's my question. You know, the pros all the time, as you can attest to, help each other out all the time on the show, behind the scenes. You know what I mean? In rehearsals, you got people
but it
help
also-
each other.
but
The
it
troupe
also-
members help the pros.
Yeah.
So, and Allison is not the type of girl to not take
To ask
advice.
for help
She would
and
absolutely take advice and
yes.
whatnot. So. What's happening?
Well, listen. Here's the thing. What Corky was saying, it's kind of like if you've studied classical ballet for, even if it's been 5 years, but like really truly studied it. Let's give it 6, because that's when you really start to do point work. You could do point work and actually look like you have something going on. If you've only studied it for a year and then they say now put point shoes on, you're gonna break your ankles and fall apart. It's same thing with ballroom. It's one thing to learn the choreography and just to execute it somehow. It's completely another thing to teach it to another person and to teach ins and outs of how to make his body move in a samba style manner.
And teach him how to be the partner in it, because she's leading it a lot.
And be a partner for him. I feel a little bit like we getting to the point where, or she's getting to the point, I don't know, somebody's getting to the point where she looks good because she will look good no matter what she does, because she's a trained dancer. So even if it's not the right technique, I mean, she still has gorgeous feet, gorgeous legs, good lines, she's still fast and on her feet. But then to back up to back up him, I mean, literally, he did not do a single samba step in that choreography.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, you didn't see anything, right?
Nothing.
He stood with his split weight, which is feet apart. She ran around him once. She ran around him twice. She ran him back bend.
Well, that's what we're seeing.
But see, she should be teaching him how to samba, and she's not.
Like couple basics, at least couple botafogas, at least do.
But when we don't know what a botafogo and a basic is,
Google.
And I think too, as it's getting, you got only a few days to get ready for this. So, so to get help from the other pros, they're too busy sweating it out, trying to get their stuff together.
Get the troupe.
The troupe members.
The troupe help.
They help all the time.
Yep.
All the time.
We know
We've
that.
heard about it backstage all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
But also to be fair, that is not what she's been trained. And in order for it to look organic and natural and at ease, like Mark and Derek and all these other guys can do, you gotta be trained in it. That's just facts.
Yeah, it is fact, and we saw this with Tyne Steckline a few seasons ago as well.
Yeah.
So
I think she holds a little bit more than Tyne Steckline for sure,
for
though.
sure.
yeah, I mean,
I think she's just more powerful than Tyne. Tyne's good, but
Yeah,
this
Tyne's
girl's
beautiful.
She's a little more powerful, and I do think she struggles in the high heels. I mean, I do think she struggles. The weight is on the
I've seen
outside
a
edges
little
of the
bit
feet.
of that.
It's not even on the inside edge, so I don't get that at all.
well, she's a contemporary dancer, so she's used to dancing
Barefoot.
barefoot. Yes. All right, we got to move on. We've got that was a 6 all the way down the board, 24. Let's move on to Tony and Betsy. 1975 was her year, birth of her daughter, and we did a jive. What do we think of the jive?
I really like her. I think that this was her best dance by far. You have to agree that was her best dance.
Well, I
Even if
thought
you don't,
last
I don't
week.
care. I'll
I
say it
thought last
anyway.
week. last week.
No, I thought this was a great dance, but last week was
Last week was better.
But I don't know, something about this, I light up when I see her, and that's what I
Yeah.
want to see. I'm really bummed that she went home this week. I don't think that she deserved that, in my opinion. I wish that someone
I
else
think
would
she
have
had
gone
one
home.
more week in her,
Me
and I think
too.
it was
Yeah.
Michael Waltrip, his week to go. But
Yeah.
I just wanted to see her dance with another partner. I think it'd been fun. So
It would have been.
what did you think of her jive?
I liked it. I well said. I agree. I like Betsy. I thought that she did amazing. I mean, this woman is more flexible than most 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
And she did pretty good. She did forget about 8 counts there. So, but so did the race car driver, and so did
Tommy Chong.
Tommy Chong.
Exactly.
So
We saw it.
yeah, but popularity keeps you here. So she didn't have the votes.
I did love her with Tony, though. Anything to add?
Yeah, no, I pretty much feel the same way. I did think she had another week in her. I was a
I
little
did
surprised
too.
it was her to go.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be one of the other two.
I thought it was going to be the race car driver for sure.
I thought for sure, but then I go back and I think about it, and I think NASCAR is such a huge, strong fan base. So
Huge.
if you rethink that just on votes alone, it
Yeah.
kind of makes sense that he stuck around. So their score was 8,777 for a total of 29, and we know that, of course, she went home.
I'm glad she went out on a high note, though.
Yes.
She was so happy to be there. That's all
She
that
was.
matters.
Life of her life. It was the time of her life.
I
And
love
you could
that.
tell, and I love that.
Yeah,
And the number with the daughter was cute. That was fun.
Yes.
It was
Sweet.
It was very sweet. All right, before we continue along, we do have a word from our sponsor, Dish Network.
Country of ours, Dish can bring you great TV. From the big city to the farmlands, high on a mountain or low in the valley. Dish delivers all the great movies, shows, and sports you can handle. Monthly packages start at just $19.99 a month for 12 months. This is your day, America. Get Dish and get thousands of TV shows and movies on demand and free installation in up to 6 rooms. Visit dish.com/AfterBuzz. That's dish.com/AfterBuzz. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee and other restrictions apply. Requires a clear view of the southern sky. Call for details.
Did he just say we can get Dish for just $19.99 a month?
Well, yes, he did, dear.
And what do we pay for TV now?
A whole lot more than that, dear.
And why do we do that?
I don't know.
Get Dish. Go to dish.com/AfterBuzz. That's dish.com/AfterBuzz.
All right, we are back, and I'm reading some of the tweets, and I just have to say, like, Johnny Crow sent me a tweet, and he just said, America didn't even get to vote for Jonathan Allison. The site crashed, so America never gave them a 6.
Oh, I see.
They're saying,
somebody
like,
gave
the
him a
producers
6.
gave him a 6, or someone. So that's where the voting went. All right, let's go on. We got to talk about Bethany and Derek. 2009 being her year where she started doing content on YouTube, talking a lot about bullying, and I think this is what a lot of us have been looking for. Like, what is Bethany about? I need to know more about her. Let's connect with her. And this was a great week for her to tell her story. So, Suri, go ahead.
Yeah, gosh, I have a lot to say regarding her. First of all, I was bullied heavily, so on that note, what an incredibly important message for her to share, and I couldn't agree with her more on that subject. And for women and girls to hear, the message to feel good about yourself, we all struggle with it. So on that note, I was completely with her.
On the rumba.
I don't feel her. I'm not a fan of her dancing. I know that sounds awful. I'm not trying to be mean because I really do like the girl, you know what I mean? And I think her message was very powerful. But I still don't connect.
Okay.
At all.
Now, Corky, we were talking a little bit about it before, too. What were you seeing with the rumba and Bethany and how she's doing?
Well, I think now after hearing what you just said, I'm thinking, she's had these hang-ups as a little girl being bullied and not accepted. And so I think that still is inside of her. And that does not, I feel like there's this little wall up in front of her.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I believe that wall actually, it stops her dancing from, that's behind, the dancing is behind that wall
She's
also.
protecting herself.
Yes. So that was interesting what you just said. So I always feel like there's like a foggy mirror in front of her, and I want to wipe the steam off to get behind it. So
That's a great analogy.
And as far as footwork goes, well, it was awful. I thought it was really bad. So that was awful.
Did you think there was not enough rumba content? Because that's what Julianne called her Derek out on.
There was not, and I think Derek probably knew that, so that's why he did that. So he probably thought, well, I'm not gonna really get too into this dance. I'm just gonna get by it, give a cool message. Hopefully that'll overshadow the turned out ankles.
Bring a cool singer, an amazing song.
That was amazing. I mean,
I love Holy Kelly.
that was excellent, and the message was excellent.
It was beautiful.
It was. That part was great.
Dancing with the Stars fan could take a good lesson on not bullying people.
Absolutely. I just
Wow, I was going to say. I hope that didn't happen to your foot. Is that what happened to you?
No, but
Just last week she got beat, so like, okay.
Don't beat each other up on social media.
the production of it was beautiful.
It was amazing.
Yes.
Love Derek.
Yeah.
Love that. I mean, I couldn't say enough about that. It reminded me of I Will What I Want
great.
with Giselle, the Under Armour commercial where they're, the writing's on the walls. I don't know if you guys seen it. It's really cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. Kind of like it was.
A little bit like that.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Jake?
I really enjoy. I wish this piece would have been a contemporary piece. I wish that they didn't have jazz last week because that whole beginning part where it was like the two of them syncopated together doing that kind of like hip hop jazz fusion, whatever it is now. I loved that. But when it came to like the movement of the rumba, rumba is my favorite dance, and this was not that. This is not what I usually see in terms of that. And I can only judge ballroom so much because I'm a contemporary dancer, and I mean, not that that matters, but what I love about this week is that it showed her, and I was bullied as well in high school and middle school and everything, and it's a very personal subject to me to talk about that, and I was really happy that she shared that. So that was really cool. But other than that, I'm just not connecting with her as a dancer, and it's this veneer that's up, and I don't know if it's maybe that reserved quality of protecting yourself, but it's also hard too because she's a YouTube personality and she creates her content, so she shows what she wants to show of herself. Mm-hmm. It's not it's not a continuous stream of consciousness. It's a edited thing that she's producing, which is awesome, but it's just not for a through line of a story and a piece. It's just not working.
Not resonating. Are you feeling the same thing? Are you able to connect with her?
No, actually, I agree with y'all, and I think the scores were way too high. I think the 8s were present.
Yep.
For
3 8s and 1 9
for creativity.
What was it?
8s from all the judges and then 9 from America.
It should have been like 6. I mean, if they gave Jonathan 6, that should have been 6. Because on the level of dancing, she's maybe a little better than Jonathan, but then again, I feel like Derek is being brilliant at what he does, and he's also being smart, and he's like, look, I don't have Nicole Scherzinger, so let me just
I'm gonna
do that.
And I think those high scores were after of last week too.
Almost, yes.
Yeah.
They're still trailing from the 10s.
The 10.
It's a tough call because the production was phenomenal, and Julianne mentioned that, and then she said, I'm going to be tough on you. It's like, yeah, be tough on him and then give him a 6, because you're not judging Derek, because Derek is great. I mean, look, he's awesome. It's her, and yes, she disconnects. She doesn't do the right footwork. She doesn't have hip action, and most of it's mental. And that's just the bottom line. And in this competition, if you want to do well, you have to put your guts behind it. You have to open your chest, rip out your heart, and put it on the plate,
and that's what
spill it, and say, here I am. And that's what pros do every single week. And she has one of the best pros, so she could learn from it. So I sound really tough, but actually I'm not, because look who she's paired with.
But I want to throw out a question about this, because and this is where I think I'm struggling. I connected so well to Amy Purdy with Derek last season.
Yes.
And I'm coming off of something that I think was really magical and interesting, and I found Amy was a story that I really connected with.
That was amazing.
Wasn't that amazing?
But also, and she was also very reserved in terms of being just a person. She's very reserved, but her story, she allows you in.
Yes.
Which I'm happy. I'm seeing Bethany slowly do that.
Slowly.
What was amazing about Amy Purdy is you didn't realize this woman did not have legs. That's what I kept getting blown. And when she would change them, I mean, you wouldn't even look at that. That's what I. That's
so I'm just wondering
amazing.
if we're like, it's a throwback to last season. It's
a little bit.
Yeah,
I have that effect.
That's
yes.
interesting.
Yeah, because I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, what is it? Like, what am I missing here? So, all right, let's go on to Michael and Emma.
Boy.
Yeah, Michael Waltrip. And he's someone that's very genuine, though. He's kind of just like, I know. We'll talk about the technical aspect of it, but he is who he is, and he's authentic, and he's genuine. 2001, he won the Daytona 500. Dale Earnhardt also passed away. And if you're a fan of NASCAR, I've done a lot with Toyota racing.
Yeah.
That it still resonates in the industry. That has not ended. Like, fans still miss Dale
I didn't realize that he had won that race.
I didn't
neither.
realize that's big.
I had no idea.
So let's talk about their quick step. On a go.
For such a large man, he surely doesn't move large. Let's put it that way. He got just use your legs, use your butt to move yourself, and you don't. Put some oomph on the pedal, and you don't, and that just sucks.
I'm just laughing because I would imagine if you were his partner, hearing you say that in the studio.
Move your butt.
I would
she
say
would.
that.
She would
I would totally say that, and I would probably be like, "This is a part of your body that I need you to move, and if you don't, guess what's gonna happen?
I'm gonna come after you.
Yeah, he'll probably enjoy it though. No, but what I'm saying is he is not a natural mover. Bless his heart. But that's another side. He puts his heart behind it, even though he's not the most natural mover. He has a heart, so it's like that weird mishmash, and that's what I think the judges are seeing too, where it's like brilliant and then it's awful. That's what they talk about. I do think the beginning of his routine was better. It's almost like maybe he practiced it a little bit more and he had it a little bit more solid, and then towards the end he fell apart. His frame just fell apart and he was just slumping all over Emma. Poor thing. I mean, she was holding her back like she probably had visit to a masseuse.
And then he like dropped. And then he basically dropped her at the end. He almost dropped her. But I love that she like caught herself and then hit that back. I was like, wait, that was cute. I was like, that's cute.
Isn't that 2 weeks in a row or something? I'm always afraid when he lets her go and she goes off flinging. I'm like, ow! Like, she just kind of like, she just go, you know.
Yeah, he
it's
just
not
looks
gentle.
like he has no awareness of, which is weird. I would imagine for a race car driver, you have to be very aware of your surroundings and of yourself too, and you know your foot on the pedal.
But I guess because he's in the cage, they're in a cage, so it's
But what
so
she says, the awareness of the surroundings, that's amazing that he's not aware of space around him.
Yeah, he kind of gets really in. He lives in like himself. He needs to come out and meet his partner here. You know.
I love his personality, and I think that he'd be the fact, if he messed up, he would be the person that would be able to cover it up with doing something kind of fun and silly. But like Tommy Chong, he can take a note from him because he messed up a lot of times, and he was just like living his life on the dance floor. I was like, and that's really cute.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Really cute. But I think that I don't know, something about him. I'm just like, just have fun. Like, who cares about the steps? Because it's not about the steps for him.
But with Tommy, you know, because he's done social dancing, he's got a vocabulary that Michael Waltrip doesn't have. So.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a huge learning curve for Michael, and God bless him.
He's still here. Anything to add on his quick step?
I just think, you know, he was on Duck Dynasty because that was a quack step. It was awful. Way overscored. Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, 6, 6, 6, 7.
They looked gorgeous. I like their outfits. Emma, again,
they did.
Yeah,
always.
I thought of you, Anna, when I saw that. I was like, oh, she did it again.
Yeah.
Emma always nails it.
Yeah. She does. She knows how to dress herself.
She does. Before we move on to our second half of the dances, we want to remind everyone to continue to download us on iTunes. We appreciate all of those podcast listeners. And, of course, rate us 5 stars if you get a chance. We sure appreciate that. Yeah, throw out the 5s. And, of course, all of those YouTube comments, keep them coming. And the tweets, we sure appreciate them and appreciate your support.
Right.
With that, we'll move on to probably one of the most moving packages of the night. I don't know how anyone got through this without bawling their eyes out. I don't know how she got through that dance. Leah and Artem, 2003, the loss of her dad to cancer. And I have to say, I hope a lot of people copy this, like celebrating a birthday and Christmas and Easter and Halloween.
What a cool sentiment to have with a loved one.
You know, it's not easy to, when you only have a short amount of time with someone, but what a really wonderful way to celebrate. So I just thought that was neat.
Agreed.
Contemporary piece. What was it like in studio? I don't know if I could have, I would have been sobbing my eyes out.
Yeah, it was. Didn't she dance to that song, Dance with
Dance
My
with My Father again.
So, you know, hearing that, it was, you know, it was a beautiful number. And Artem, I know it's about the lady, but Artem had a beautiful, delicate touch, the way he just had the right amount of, the way he was touching her and holding her.
Yes.
The tension was a beautiful. So, and she danced. I thought she was gorgeous last night. I really enjoyed her number.
We saw her ballet technique in full force.
Did you saw feet?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I was. Wow. Yeah.
I'm sure you enjoyed it.
I did. You know, I love a good pointed toe.
Yes,
so.
you do. Good turnout.
Sickled feet drive me bananas. Suri.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, during the package, forget Suri tears. It was a flood.
I saw the photo.
It was a flood. I sent Kristen a photo of me on the couch, mascara running. Full raccoon eyes. I was like, it's a flood.
I was so moved and so touched by everything, that whole experience. I completely agree with you. What a special thing to celebrate all those. It was just amazing. And then the number was gorgeous. She was beautiful.
And I love
absolutely beautiful.
Leah and Artem together. They feel like a team.
Yeah.
I feel it every single week, no matter whether she does really well or she has an off week. I feel the connection there, and I love that. So,
I'm just so happy that a new pro is getting this moment on the show. I think it's been such a long time since someone has had like a new moment. I think Whitney is probably there with him.
Yeah.
But I'm happy with him because this is his first season as a professional on the show. You know, so
Well,
I love that.
He really understands the ballroom technique. I mean, he's a beautiful dancer.
a Strictly Come Dancing winner. So.
And again, his the way that he would hold her and touch her, it was there was just this nurturing quality. It was almost as if her dad was like channeling through him. It was just, I don't know.
Very good. I
Everything
like that,
about it was perfect. I loved it.
What was their score? Was it 3 10s?
3 10s, and then America gave them a 9, and that's when Erin Andrews went, "Ew, America."
That was funny.
See, I didn't hear that because you can't always hear everything.
Yeah.
It's loud in the studio.
That's
Ew,
awesome.
America.
Good for you, Erin.
Yeah.
But she's right. They deserve 10.
They did
did.
deserve
Yeah.
a 10. It just was beautiful. I think that's one of them that'll be one of the highlights, I think, of the season when you kind of look back on one of the memorable dances. So.
Yeah, she's a gorgeous dancer, and that contemporary was really a perfect dance for her to showcase her training as a ballet dancer, B, her emotional availability because she's an actress. So I think those two combined together were just like that stars aligned moment where everything just worked.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And a fantastic partner to support all that. So yeah.
Excellent, yeah.
All right, let's come on to another couple that I'm kind of conflicted on. Antonio and Cheryl. 1989 were kind of his big year in
Why?
terms of...
Why are you conflicted on them?
I love
I'm
that
not
song, by the way, that they used. Love it.
Okay, 1989, Janet Jackson, that was his big acting break. I'm not conflicted on Cheryl. Let me just throw it out there. I'm conflicted on Antonio. His wooden
His feet,
dancing.
the feet. I mean,
Yeah, go ahead,
I
Corky.
tell you, I laughed for the whole time at that.
By the way, they were doing a samba. Let's throw that out there.
Well,
in case.
it was.
Is that what it was?
I don't know what it was. It looked like a reject from a Chippendale movie. It was not. It was not good. The feet were bad, and
He's only speaking the
but
truth.
I'm not so sure if he is open-minded. I don't know if he's open-minded with her, and that's what I feel. You know, the celebrity has no opinion in this. Shut your face and do what we tell you.
Yeah.
And so that's what, I don't know if this is true. That's just the vibe I get from this guy.
We heard some frustrations from him a few weeks ago during a package. Again, it was a small moment in time because, they filmed so much. But he was like, it's just a reality show, whatever, when he gets frustrated. But you do have to give yourself to this process on this and just trust in
You
your flow.
have to.
Yes. Well, I agree with the wooden comment. He does not have a natural way to coordinate his body. He just doesn't. He doesn't have rhythm in his body.
Does he have
feel-
children?
Yes.
Yes. But listen, hey, let's not go there. But I think partly it's. I agree with Corky. It's mental. Like you just have to relax and let go and surrender, and kind of like when you do make children.
Exactly.
And that's the
what I'm
best way.
saying.
And knowing Cheryl
In
for this
both.
as long as we've known her, I just get this vibe that he is resisting her. I don't know if that's true. It's just the vibe
Right.
I get.
And she's irresistible. She's awesome.
But
She
I
is.
do want to add though, he had samba and then Jonathan had samba, and the amount of content that Antonio had, he actually had
Was
samba
actual
content.
content,
yes.
He actually
Poor
had
thing.
a samba. It wasn't well done by him. Again, Cheryl is fantastic. But it was an actual samba, and I applaud
That part
for that. Thank
Exactly.
you.
I just want to add, the part where where he could have been himself, and we
Yeah.
expected him to be himself.
That part.
Was when he went on his knees and did the whole
Oh,
sexy
yeah.
thing, and when he did it, I was like, no, that was
no.
awkward.
Isn't that weird?
Awkward, and that's not what you expect. So what is that?
What were
They
you
only-
expecting?
Well, the only.
Some
Let it go.
sexiness.
Sex.
That's nothing. That's easy. Bring that.
Look at how he's so good looking. I expect him. I expect sex
Ooh,
on the stick.
sex
I
on the
expect
stick.
sex on the
Especially
stick.
when you're on your knees and you're not even doing a move.
And she's had Jules Marini, she's had William Levy. Like,
Yeah.
he
That's
fits in
true.
this
He's
mold
into
of
that
this
mold.
guy. So it's like
Couple of those
we're
guys, but
comparing
it's
that as well.
again, you gotta let go. If you are self-conscious on any level, on even a little teeny tiny bit, if there's a thought of doubt in your mind while you're doing that move, it's not gonna happen, and we're gonna read that because we feel fake. And that's what you feel.
You're like, it was like watching a bad audition.
And that affects the whole routine, too, not just that one little piece.
Or make it campy. Just like go for the camp.
Go for the camp.
Or just make fun of it. Yeah.
You know what? I think he was struggling with going for the camp. Like, I would have gone for the camp. Why not?
Like, this has been like ridiculous.
Corky, you would.
I would have. You're darn right.
But you guys, he's an actor and he's not going there, so it's kind of strange. 7-7-7-8, 29 was their score. We've got three more dances to get through. Tony, not Tony, Tommy in PETA, 2003 was his year when he went to jail.
That was awesome. I mean, who says that?
Who says that? And then he does a jail jive. Okay, let's do it. What did you think?
I loved his routine. You know, he's pretty smooth. He made mistakes. Who cares? I mean, this guy is like suave.
He's sexy. Yeah.
He's got something. He's something about him, you know. And they have a good energy, him and PETA. Something. Yeah. And what was it that he said? They said at the end, I think it was Erin, she said something like, we're going to have a switch next week, and are you going to dance with Tony? He goes, hey, I've been in jail. I'll dance with Tony. That was awesome.
He doesn't miss a beat. You know what I want to say really quick? I don't, you know, his dancing, whatever. For me, last night, I connected personally with his message of just be in the moment. Whatever that moment is in your life, be in that moment. That means straight to the heart. Love that.
Yep. I agree.
But you know, one other interesting thing, you don't have to be a great dancer if you're comfortable in your skin. He's comfortable in his skin. He may not make it to the end, but I think he's going to go pretty far.
I do too.
Because he's comfortable with, he's open to it. He's not... That's interesting.
I just hope they make it to the end because I want to see their freestyle because you know it's going to be.
It's going to be awesome.
Would be
just like marijuana plants everywhere.
You guys, how about if he slides down the stairs on a big joint?
And then they'll probably get Snoop Dogg to perform with him. I'm so down.
And tons of smoke.
I performed with Snoop, and let me tell you, his trailer.
Total smoke. All right, all sevens across the board. It was a 28 for them. We move on to, guess what? Sadie and Mark time. I love this girl's like 17. Like, 2012 was my favorite year. You know, when you're young, it's like...
I was born in 2000.
That's hilarious.
What is she going to say?
I was born 5 years ago, you know.
The year I was born. It was my favorite year.
Oh my God.
Okay, I've said this week after week, I love this little duckling. She's adorable. Doing the samba. Talk about, you know, sort of what you saw, what you know from Mark. You went out to dinner with the whole crew last night, so.
I did. It was an interesting group of people, very, very nice people. You know, I thought the routine was crafted well.
Yes.
And it was young. That's what I liked about it. It was young. It was her age. It was fun. And it had plenty of samba content. And I was impressed with the number.
She's a total performer.
And her arms improved way better this week than last week. I mean, I couldn't believe it was the same person. It'll be interesting to see what she looks like next week and who she gets.
I know.
That'll be cool.
And Julianne called out the Shirley Ballas moment. We love that. The arms.
See, I didn't hear that. You don't get to hear all that.
I didn't hear it. What'd she say?
She said, those were Shirley Ballas arms, if I ever saw
her little
that.
arms were pretty amazing. And the hip action was pretty good, too.
Yeah.
And I love that they used, you know, her uncles, Cy and Willie.
Yeah, all the duck calls in the audience, that was pretty fun.
That was
And I thought it was fun seeing a duck guy dance. I mean, it looked like one of the characters doing the samba. So that was another weird thing because I kept forgetting that was Mark, to be honest.
He went there.
That's what I want to talk. I'm like dying to talk about it. Can we just talk about how Mark looked?
Yes.
Weird.
Let's talk about it.
I was like, first of all, when it was going, you know, camera shots behind before the number, I didn't realize it was him first.
Well, a lot of people thought he was Jet dancing with her. They didn't let Mark dance. That was crazy.
That's
so
funny.
good. I couldn't get over that. Their costumes were to die for.
Yes.
Then really well done.
It's really good. Stars. How is Mark, enjoying working with Sadie? Because obviously, her dad wants to have a say in the costumes, and they want to make sure she's 17 years old. They come from a more conservative background. I mean, Mark has a great sort of background with working with more conservative contestants. So
yes, he does.
He does.
Yeah. No, he loves Sadie. He loves working with her. She's open-minded and she's game for anything. And she puts her heart out on the sleeve and she throw it at me. tell me what to do.
Good
So,
student.
You were saying that Mark just says she turns it on, like just gets it.
well, what she does on the floor and on the moment is nothing what she does in the studio. He says she turns into this totally other person.
Wow. A performer.
Yeah, she's got it.
Performer.
She's got her Beyonce moment.
Not to go too far ahead, but when we came back from commercial or whatever it was, Tom was sitting amongst the ducks.
Yes.
That was
That was
awesome.
So great.
Singing something. He was sitting singing and saying, now they're
One
probably
of
going to
these
charge
things
us
is
for
not
that.
like the other. That's what he was saying.
Yeah.
That's so great. I mean,
So good.
they were 9,
Fantastic.
10, 9, 9, so 37 score.
I loved it. I wish there was
Yeah.
another 10 in there.
I think
Yeah, they
thrown
could
in
have
another
I would
10.
say
Yeah.
that was proper.
But she has her 10 all 10 moments coming. She really does.
Yeah, I
Yeah. I'm
think
excited for her.
they're
And it's
contenders.
good for her because she's gaining momentum. Like she's
That's
getting
true,
better and
yeah.
better and better every
Makes
weekend.
you
It's
work
like
hard.
you're like, oh, like last week was so fantastic with the balloons and all that. I'm like,
That was so
what are they
sweet.
gonna bring again? You know, and Mark being dressed like one of the deaf people it was priceless. It was priceless.
It was
And I think it was Julianne who pointed out there was a really good balance between content and
Yes.
concept. And that is a hard thing to balance.
And it was still kind of edgy. You know, you had a
Yeah.
little, especially towards the end, it was kind of funky. Then
Yeah.
it merged kind of into samba, and then bam at the end.
Yeah, I'm like,
And you know, the head flicks with the beard, that was hilarious. So that's what I
Some
like.
of
There was
those-
some good comedy mixed into it, but
Yeah.
still serious. That's,
Yes.
That's
Still
not
good
easy.
work.
and
Yeah.
those hip hoppy moments, they did some similar moves
Yeah.
that Jonathan and Allison did. Not the same.
It was
No,
it was
not the
labeled
same.
the best samba of the night. So
And
Yeah.
it was.
It
was
good,
clearly.
yeah.
all right, let's get to the dance of the night. I think
Yes.
Whitney and Alfonso.
Oh my gosh.
We've all been waiting for the Carlton. It did come and happen. He talked about the 90s and being Carlton and how it was good and how it was bad. And I think a lot of long-term sitcom actors go through this, but just embrace it, and they did. Who wants to talk about Whitney? And go ahead.
Incredible. I watched it twice. Again, I don't do that very often because I was just dying. I was, peeing my pants, laughing when he started doing that whole thing. Is that on you? I mean, the whole thing. And then, of course, I went to online and pulled out the original when he did it on the sitcom, and then a couple of the times that he did it, and I was just obsessing over it for like 30 minutes after. As a jazz routine, great too.
You know, choreographically though, I thought it was almost identical to week one's choreography. So that was kind of like
Oh, interesting.
little bit.
I was like, and for me to remember that, that's because I don't remember anything at my age. The fact that I remembered that, it was a little bit like week
Now I'm
one.
gonna go back
the
and
only-
watch.
You go back, and the only difference is we got the little
Carlton
which we
swing.
all love, and I love the set in the back. I wish Will Smith would have been in there. That would have been awesome.
I heard that Will Smith will probably not appear because his wife's show is on opposite Dancing with the Stars on another network.
Oh yeah, Fox.
Oh, that makes
Oh,
sense.
what is she on?
Gotham.
Gotham.
Ew.
And that's a big, expensive show too.
Yeah.
Anything to add on Whitney and Alfonso?
I agree with that, and I watched it. I think I watched it 3 times
Oh,
now.
did you think the same
I
thing?
actually did, and I was
See
actually going to say that.
Ah.
And I was really the first week I thought actually had more choreographed moments, and this was. I mean, it was so cute and
Yeah.
amazing, and I think they deserve a 10 or whatever because he's going to get a 10. Throughout the competition, but I wanted a little bit more. Watching it back again, I was like,
Yeah.
This first week, I loved the first week. I thought it was just like, bam, like the whole time. And then I wanted them to get off the couch quicker. I was like,
Me
okay,
too.
we can
There's
lose
too
that
much-
moment and just like
on,
dance.
and then at the end, again, like dance.
Let's
That's
have a
what-
moment.
Sometimes
yeah.
you don't need those props.
I like the end where they ended up on the couch. But yeah, no, I didn't notice what you guys noticed. Now I want to go back and watch. But overall, I mean, how can you not enjoy them?
They're so much fun.
Whitney's definitely.
I want those
shining
yellow
as
and
well.
white shoes.
It's their
too, by the way.
competition to lose. It really is their competition to lose.
Yes.
It is. I know they're setting the pace, but it's still early in the season.
I know, you've got
There's
some really,
still
really
more
good
weeks.
people on.
I want to get to just a couple fan questions, and I think this one I got over and over and over again. Everyone wants to know about growing, having Julianne and Derek and Mark all together. You guys are a family unit, and everyone just wants to know about that relationship and what that was like.
Well, what is it specifically they want to know? I mean, what
I
am
think they want to know everything.
What was their favorite cereal?
Actually, they weren't allowed to eat cereal. It had to be some type of a fruit
Nutritious.
juice or something like
Right.
or
Healthy.
we go for some eggs. Eggs were cool, but it was mainly fruit juices in the morning.
Well, let's go looking back. Like now that they're all grown, I'm looking back at that. Did you realize how special it was in the moment?
Yeah, and I knew it I knew it. I knew immediately.
You knew they were all going to be stars.
Well, I didn't know they were going to be stars, but I knew that in our world they would be stars. I didn't know on this world because we didn't have this world in our world. But I knew, and you know this, 'cause you were there the whole time. I think the main thing, if I was to say that I feel that I taught those 3 children, was work ethic. That's what I really believe is what we instilled. And I say we because Shirley was drill sergeant. I mean, we were tough on them.
Yeah.
You know, and we had fun. We had to have fun, but it was tough fun. It was no messing around. So, yes, I did. I had this. I want to say I, but I am going to say I because it's a fact. But you know, I planned for them to either be on the West End. That's our version of Broadway. So that's what the goal was.
And look at that.
Yeah.
That was the goal, and to be a ballroom Latin dancer.
Superstardom, though. It's amazing to look back and see.
I mean, it's so commendable because those 3 I really feel like have changed the ballroom world into something that it is now, like the So You Think You Can Dance world, where it's like these dancers are no longer just their style, like they cross over so many things and can do so many things. And I think those 3 especially have really affected how everything has turned out. I really do believe that.
And they're very young too.
Yeah. You know, we sent them to performing arts school, which had you know, all
styles,
things, and you know, send them to gymnastic class, send them to any kind of a flamenco class, anything that had to do with any type of a rhythm. There's sometimes you'd have people in the West End teaching interpretive rhythm. It had nothing to do with any dance, we'd send them to those type of things all the time, and they loved doing it. That's what was awesome.
Amazing.
Right.
All the photos and videos you must have are incredible. One other question. This is from Forever Tango 1. What is your favorite routine that Mark has ever choreographed with a celebrity partner?
Oh,
jeez. You know, I'm going to say it was up last week. I am going to say that. That number last week was just... I thought it was just so sweet, and I just thought the music was beautiful, and the way I don't know if you guys have seen the movie, but the way he paralleled the movie to the actual dance, you know, the little coin, the little shoulder shrug, the, you know, the balloons, and that was my all-time favorite. I'm going to say that.
All right.
I love that.
Me too.
All right, we do have to wrap up here, but Corky, I know you're only in and out of Los Angeles every once in a while, so thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you for having me.
I know. What are you working on? Where can we see you? Where can we find you online?
Online, my website's corky.com, corky.com.
Yeah.
And I have a fan page on Facebook. It's DWTS Vote. So if you want to go visit the fan page, you can.
Awesome.
And my Twitter's Corky Ballas.
Yeah.
So if I get any hate tweets, I'm not going to answer you, so please don't waste your time hating on me. This is just my opinion, you know. That's the deal.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's been such a pleasure.
Thank you for being here.
Yes. All right. Suri, where can we find you online?
At Suri Serano. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Jake.
On Instagram, you can find me at Jake Dupree, and on Twitter at Jake_Dupree.
You can find me on Twitter at Trebunskaya, Trebunskaya on Instagram, Anna Trebunskaya, Facebook, and the website.
All right, I'm at Kristyn Burtt on Twitter and the Kristyn Burtt on Facebook and Instagram. Next week, we do have Jenna Johnson coming in.
Yay!
Excited to have her back in studio. Next week, of course, is the big switch up, and we're hearing there's no elimination. That's the rumor.
That's great.
Yeah,
that makes
great
sense
for everybody.
That makes sense. And then they'll count scores from week 4 and 5 for week 6.
And then is it 2 off on the next week?
I bet it will be at some point. Yeah, at some point. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you here next week on AfterBuzz TV.
Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.